You're listening to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football and Turkish Super League podcast. My name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. Welcome to a brand new edition of 15 Minutes Football Podcast. Whatever we can fit in, I'll give it to you. It's going to be a lot of news, a lot of excitement, and also a weekend with a lot of talks about bad Turkish referees. We'll all talk about that. We'll also recap the Week 5. If we have time, I'll preview the Week 6. But if we don't, I'll come back, do a brand new podcast on Thursday. Do a podcast for previewing Week 6 and then talk about the Turkish teams, how they did in the European competition, because we're loaded with the information from last week and current days, because the deadline for transfer, it ends in 2 days. Actually, September 8th is the last day for transferring. We have a lot of transfer talks, a lot of names that are coming to Turkey to play. They've been already, a couple players already been from EPL clubs. And the biggest news probably you heard, Icardi will be coming to Galatasaray along with Kaan Ayhan. And Galatasaray even looking at to James Rodriguez to transfer before the deadline ends. So all this information, I'm going to try to give it to you. But let's recap what happened in the Week 5, because there's a lot of stuff that happened in the Week 5. Let me get through it. In the Week 5, 4 of the away teams won their match, and 2 of the away teams had a draw in away matches. Now, Week 5, it was low scoring again. Only 17 goals we saw in the Week 5. And after the Week 5 ended, the most goal scorer in the Turkish Super League is Fenerbahce team with 15 goals. The second place team who has scored most goals is Besiktas with 14 goals. Now, even though Galatasaray right up there behind Besiktas and all those teams with 10 points, they only scored in 5 games. Believe it or not, they score only 4 goals in 5 matches. And they have all the superstars. There's something is not clicking. I'm going to go into details what happened with Gaziantep match in Istanbul on Monday. I'll give you more details about it. But haven't seen Galatasaray after 5 weeks only scoring 4 goals. As a matter of fact, in Monday's match, 2 of the goals that Galatasaray scored, actually, pretty much it was set up by Gaziantep defenders. So Galatasaray right now on a Tuesday night, they are bringing Kaan Ayhan and Icardi from PSG. Argentinian player who played for PSG is coming to Galatasaray on a loan. He'll probably be in Istanbul somewhere on Wednesday, and they want him to be on the practice pitch on Thursday. Now, all these transfer hooplas going, and the deadline I told you, September 8th. Other teams are transferring too. So this season, this very young season, we have seen attack from Galatasaray, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, Trabzonspor, and other clubs too. All these teams, I mentioned to you a lot of time on my podcast last season. These clubs are in trouble financially, pretty much owned by banks. This could be another disaster later on for the teams in a year or so. Because, let's face it, trying to get Icardi from PSG on a loan, Galatasaray has to pay 3 million euro. And then with this new current laws or rules with Turkish Football Federation having must have three Turkish players on the pitch, starting 11. All these foreign players that big teams loaded, I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know what they're going to do. But Galatasaray needs a player like Icardi, and I think Kaan Ayhan is a very good player. I don't think James Rodriguez deal will go through, but you never know. They have a couple days. So let's recap week 5. While Trabzonspor and Besiktas won their match in away match, Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe was playing in front of their own fans, and they won their match. So pretty much in week 5, the Big Four won their match. But the Trezeguet in Friday's match scored the only goal against the newcomer Ümraniye, and he scored his first goal in the Turkish Super League. On Saturday, Fenerbahçe was at home. They beat Kayserispor. And also Saturday, Başakşehir beat Alanyaspor 2-0. And Sivas at home tied with Fatih Karagümrük. And Pirlo's team earned a point. And Giresunspor at home lost to Konyaspor. Konyaspor is looking very good. Konya and Başakşehir are only the teams that have not let anybody score on them after week 5. So we have pretty much 3 teams are undefeated so far. That's Besiktas and Başakşehir and Konyaspor. Besiktas, Konyaspor, and Başakşehir are unbeaten so far after week 5. On Sunday, Hatayspor was at home and tied with Adana Demirspor. And there was a lot of controversial calls in that match and a lot of talk about the referees. And it's same way Ankara-Gücü Beşiktaş match. Beşiktaş won this match in Ankara 3-2. Ankara-Gücü scored first, and then Beşiktaş came back. And then Beşiktaş, Joseph, one of the players got red carded for no reason. And a fan from Ankara-Gücü side ran into the field, kicked Beşiktaş player, Joseph De Souza, and then he took him, put him on the ground. Just because he did that, the referee showed De Souza red card. That should not be done. Because how can you have a spectator running into the middle of the field after the match is over and then kicks the player from the back? That is no. Turkish Football Federation has to do very strong take measurements against this type of acts. And Turkish Football Federation had after this incident happened, and then, as you know, Turkish Football Federation building was attacked by gunmen, and then they found that gunman. And just today, all the Turkish club owners, captains, players, and they were at the building trying to get solidarity together. All the big clubs and all the clubs from Turkish Super League were there to show solidarity to the rest of the Turkey. Pretty much the last match was in the week 5. It was Galatasaray at home in front of almost 50,000 people. Came back to beat Gaziantep 2-1. I could talk about this match hours because I have watched this match from starting minute to the ending of 95th minute because there was, I believe, 5 or 6 extra minutes played. I can tell you this. Even though Galatasaray does not score a lot of goals, but they managed somehow to collect 10 points so far after week 5. Gaziantep in this match was the better team in the first half. That's why they scored the first goal. Now, Galatasaray, after going a man down, which in this case, another disaster referee was on the pitch. He showed a second yellow card for Galatasaray defender. So Galatasaray was a man down. But Galatasaray got better while Gaziantep thought they had the game in their hand. They tried to play with Galatasaray. And the two huge mistakes that cost them actually gave them Galatasaray's goals. The first one, deflected. As a matter of fact, let me say something about Gaziantep goalkeeper. I think he is the player of the weekend, if you ask me. He saved at least 11 shots of Galatasaray players. He was superb. Günay was superb goalkeeper. 2 of the goals that Galatasaray scored on, it was actually, the second one was their own goal. And the first one, it was the bad pass from the defender, deflected, and then Gomez got it, and Gomez scored his 3rd goal in the 5th week. But later on, what happened, everyone thought Gomez was going to score in the penalty kick. Gomez missed. Actually, Günay saved Gomez's penalty kick. But the second goal came, actually the winning goal came in very last seconds of the match. This is the 3rd match that Galatasaray is winning in the last seconds of the match. Now, Galatasaray has probably going to have Icardi coming to the team along with Kaan Ayhan. Icardi will be on loan. They will have a shot to get him at the end of the season. They are trying to get James Rodriguez too, another huge player. And that is going to be something to see. Let me run down to you, because I'm not going to have a time for preview week 6. I'll come back to a new podcast for it. Let me give you some insights about transfers so far. You know, Michy Batshuayi came to Fenerbahçe, the player that played for Besiktas. And just today, Nathan Redmond from Southampton coming to Besiktas. And Kenan Karaman from Besiktas player went to Schalke. And as you know, Maxi Gomez, Trabzonspor, he's now a Trabzonspor player. Umut Bozok came to Trabzon. Also, young product of Ajax, Naci Univar is on loan to Trabzonspor. Mario Balotelli, gone from Adana Demirspor. He will be playing for Sion. And Yusuf Yazıcı came back to Trabzonspor. And Fenerbahçe player Pelkas left Fenerbahçe. And Serdar Saatçi will play for Braga for 4 years. So these are the transfer news that you've seen, and you might hear more names, because September 8th is on Thursday and tomorrow's Wednesday. There's only actually less than 48 hours, maybe 48 hours. So we'll see what happens. This is the pretty much what we saw, the first place team in the Turkish Super League after week 5. Besiktas on top with 13 points. And the second place team is Konyaspor with 11 points. So I know time is running out over here. That's why listen to my podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. I'll see you probably Thursday with a new podcast talking about week 6. Bye-bye.